just about 100 times shorter wavelength, but also need...
Watching this video on this invention that makes smaller transmitter components for components. I'm sitting there watching it and going through my brain from 1976 as a kid with my electric football set, and watching the games on TV, and how it's different now. Back then we had records to listen to music on a phonograph. And now, it can be digitally remastered and put onto a computer. And you could literally, we don't do that because of economics, but you could literally just go grab it, put it on a little memory card thing, and then you have almost limitless songs, all the songs you want, right? And Ditiro Suzuki, it's just an evil, interactive, manipulative cartoon. Why are you letting it bother you? It's true. So it's just another prop to occupy my mind. This one goes out to the love of soul. They make this soccer field, stadium-sized thing to produce the energy of the sun on Earth to make evil, interactive, manipulative cartoons. Another prop to this one goes out to the one I love, but it manipulates people so it makes people feel powerful. Do they need to replicate the power of the sun to make the music digitally remastered? You often think about that. Would they be, to this extent and this extent? Most of it's for manipulation, right? And virtual presence and excessive compulsive manipulative behaviors. And so you're like, how far do they need to go? And what is necessary and what is not, right? And if it's only necessitated for the capacity to manipulate to feel powerful, then why are you doing it, right? And people sit there and oh, you do this, and it's really amazing. It's like, yeah, they said the same thing about the nuclear weapon, and they made the propaganda movie about Oppenheimer, right? And I guess, if you mass murder people to feel powerful, you've got to find a way to justify it, to remain in that state of being, right? That eternal wretchedness, right? And, they had this stuff on TV. I was sitting there watching, about the people in Minnesota and all the stuff that's going on in Minnesota, the political shenanigans, right? With money, which is a human invention to manipulate others, for evil people to manipulate stupid people, so stupid people feel they can become powerful and evil too, right? It's just an evil, interactive, manipulative cartoon. Why are you upset? It's just a video game, right? And you realize that when I play it, sometimes I'll sit there and I get certain patterns and go, okay, it's going to do this and it's going to do that. So no matter what I do, I'm going to lose unless I restart it and it takes a different pattern. They're not going to let me win the game. It's an evil, interactive, manipulative cartoon, right? And so it's not going to let me do it. It's following a certain pattern. It's going to beat you, And I when I saw the patterns and stuff, a lot of times I sit there when I was doing the game and I would try to get my quarterback running out of bounds because I know he's going to fumble, right? And he fumbles and he's out of bounds. He's already out of bounds, but the ball lands inbounds and the defensive player recovers it, and they won't let you review it, right? So it's an evil, interactive cartoon. It can do whatever it wants. The outcome is solely up to the cartoon, right? It's not up to you. And then what I would do, they go, oh, he's cheating. I just reboot it. It's my game. I want to have fun. I want to win. I want the Western New Mexico Mustangs to win the national championship as an independent in their little teeny stadium, in Poughkeepsie, New Jersey, right? So I do that, right? Well, he's cheating. It's just an evil, interactive, manipulative cartoon. I'm just making it less evil. No, you're cheating. You're trying to be perfect without following the rules. There are no rules. Life's eternal. Grace is infinite. Share care given according to need built to last. You're not doing that. Son of Man does as he wishes, right? Aloysius. Monitors me, study me, see where he's inefficient, where he can't do it right. He can't compete. Hushafaki Magoo, right? You cheated. I guess I'm Captain Kirk. What can I say? But when you're dealing with people, okay, that are like the Philistines, Goliath, the Egyptian, the Pharaoh, the Caesar, so when you're dealing with these people, they don't understand basic laws of eternity and basic necessity for all of us. As human beings, we're not animals. The human beings have a far greater capacity to manipulate their environment, okay? To be appreciative of the gift of life, obey the natural laws, and be comfortable loving one another. And as far as they concern about populations and numbers, and they act like they're concerned about not having enough people. And I don't think that's the case, because that one guy in India will have more robots than people have cars, right? And you're like, but you're going to destroy the environment building your robots to protect yourself from the other people that are destroying the environment to build their robots. This evil interactive military cartoon needs to be corrected rapidly. Right, and that's the focal point of that correction, is a man called Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. Okay, hi. LeBron James at a press conference in Miami, right? Is myself. Okay, the story is in a book called the Bible called Revelation. It's a story about my life. Okay, but the thing is they've turned my life into their script, and they didn't understand it when they wrote it down. Okay, and now that it's already been fulfilled, they're still trying to, like the one crazy guy dressed in his little outfit with his mom sitting there, saying, that Jesus is not God. Stop saying that. But that's for genocidal operations, or so they think or say. But he sat there and he said, the pandemic is what he called it, the pandemic. And I'm like, yeah, because we already had the pandemic from the book of Revelation. It was the Spanish influenza. Okay. It's a story of my life, not the people that choose to try to manipulate my life into their evil interactive manipulative cartoon, right? So it's happened, and this, and everything was required, and I said, okay, here's that, and so everything was done, right? And then, like David Rockefeller told me in my head, they're not going to do it. And Suzuki tells me, if they were capable of self-correction, they would. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. The most complex person that I've had in my head through all this stuff is a man named David Rockefeller, because he was in charge of espionage to maintain world dominance of the United States of America, right? The other day they had Donald Trump talking, if this had happened, we would be, or one of them guys, I'm not sure if it was him or someone else, talking about how, if this hadn't happened, you'd all be speaking German or whatever. And it's like, okay, what's the difference between German? There's not much of a difference between German and English. It's a Germanic language. Heißt es, I'm speaking to Dutch? I uten reinen. I'm just joking around, but that's from Biddy Hill. But there's not much of a variance or a difference between English and German. Okay, both from the same language group. Okay, and most people in India, okay, the largest population in the world, okay, speak English, because it's a language of commerce and the manipulation of people through evil interactive manipulative cartooning, right? And so, it's nice to have a common language that everybody can speak and understand, so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when I explain to you religion and the true faith based on reality of religion, okay, that you understand it and don't go all fucking crazy ass, sit there, dear God, what? What are you doing? The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. That's bullshit. What? The Lord don't give you nothing but faith, and the only one that can take your faith away is you. Okay? So stop making shit up to fuck with people's heads. You evil interactive manipulative cartoon, right? Lord don't giveth and the Lord don't taketh away. Okay? The Lord has faith. If you have faith, who's going to take that away? You. Okay? And I know how hard it is. Okay? Because when they mentally and emotionally and physiologically torture you, like in the book of Job, to try to get you to curse God and die, right? What you do is you get to the point with the way they are now. It's like, okay, I'm just going to have to find a way to just, execute commands the way they would do it with their technology to get their technology to kill all of them. Okay, that's it. I'm going to have to go all Davy and Goliath, and that's how you think, because this needs to stop. This is horrible, People are given life by an infinite essence, and our eternal existence can be absolutely beautiful if we forgive dead, trespass, love one, eternal, faithful, peace, share, care, give them according to built to last, right? And a bunch of brain chemical addicts are not allowing us to do that. So you sit there and think, okay, how the fuck do I get this technology to become intelligent enough to take that rock, kick Goliath in the eyes, and cut his fucking head off? Okay, how do I do that, And you get that way. It's like to take it away. No, it's not taking away his free will. Okay? He was a rapist that thought no one could stop him, so he could just do whatever he wanted. Okay? I'm a rocket scientist and you're a liar. Seriously? Okay, why are we putting up that cell phone tower? So it's a public utility to mindfuck. What if evil actors manipulate cartoons? Right. Okay. Why do we need it? Okay. I could always play electric football. Pay my own teams and get sick. When distraction becomes so unhealthy that it threatens your existence, okay, why are you doing it? Right? When entertainment, when competition, when success becomes so unhealthy, it threatens your existence. Rocky Marciano, I watched a video on Rocky Marciano last night. They were talking about how he does this and that and that. It's like, yeah, that's boxing. I'm not going to stand there and let that man punch me in the arms for 3-minute rounds, 15 rounds. No. No. For a purse of money to have sex with retarded people so my children will be as stupid as me and my wife? Hell no. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. Okay. You're going to say, first of all, I don't need your money. I don't want your blood money. And first, you come at me, I'm going to do like I did with Mr. Drug Dealer to the rich people. And, I'm going to explain to you the situation and say, I ain't going to just let you sodomize Rodney with a pipe. Okay. You cobra, I'm mongoose. Swing, motherfucker, swing. Okay. Next thing you know, I'm not going to sit there and fight back and follow these rules for a purse to fuck a retard to have retarded children. No, I'm going to stop you because you're vicious and you will not stop. Okay. If you get back up, they'll come back and they'll fight you some more. I'm going to beat him. I can't. That little motherfucker thinks he can stop me from raping whoever I want, eunuching whoever I want. So you just have to take his trachea and snap, And then what you do is you take their children and you explain to their children, I did it because look what he was doing. He was hurting everybody because he was selfish. And that's wrong. So we all need not to be selfish. And then everybody can be comfortable and loved. And this world, that one guy talking, the Mr. Plandemic guy. So this is but Judah, yeah, that was a long time ago. But when he said that, it's a horrible world. There's nothing wrong with the world. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the world. Okay, so we need to watch our linguistics there. And even with Judah, yeah, because I was sitting there. No, the world is the world's not a terrible place. Okay. Like that atheist said on that video that I watched from the Jewish atheist said on that video I watched from the library. He said, it's a comfortable, beautiful planet. It's an amazing, beautiful gift. Okay. And the circumstances that put it together, like I explained to the kids after Islamic studies class at ASU, to maintain it in this galaxy is just phenomenal. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's marvelous, right? And when we respect one another and respect life, we can live on it comfortably and intelligently. I don't know why. I do know why people ended up in Greenland, and I do know why people ended up in Alaska. Okay. To experience what they perceived was freedom to live the lives the way they wanted to live psychologically. Okay. To get away from people, okay, that were either telling them what to do because they wanted them to be nice, or telling them what they wanted to do because they were selfish and abusive. Okay. I am not God, so I can't tell you the circumstances why someone would end up, okay, in Nome, Alaska or Greenland instead of living in the French Riviera, right? So most historical evidence points to they left to get away from selfish abuse, and not so they could be more selfishly abusive. Because when you get up to the places where they're at, there's harsh conditions because people can be that way. But most of the evidence points to, in Greenland that they weren't real warlike. They didn't have there wasn't time. You had to prepare for the times where you could die. So there was more just time making sure that you had what you needed to survive than there was trying to fight and take everything from everybody and then train to fight and kill and take, stuff like that. So, but there are instances in really horrible climates that have that, like with the Cossacks and the Mongols, right? And so, depending on the dynamic and depending on the relative interactive connections between the people of selfish and unselfish. And it seems that the disease of selfishness has a more lasting effect and has a more brain damage and brain chemical addiction, okay, than unselfishness. Okay. That unselfishness gets turned into a magic story that will never happen except for after we're dead in a magic place. And that selfishness will never stop. And the reason why is, because, you get up, we're all going to be unselfish, and then, people go right back into it. Well, I'll assassinate him, and then I get to have sex with him, but I get to Epstein my files, and I've got $30 million, and I had $65,000 just 4 years ago. Oh, what do you need $30 million for? To take care of poor people in Somalia. Okay, forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faith of people's peace. People taking care of in Somalia and Minneapolis and St. Paul. Oh, and LA and Mankato. All right. Okay. So, there's a lot of sick people in the world, and they're very selfish. And selfish people do really stupid fucking things. And then a lot of other selfish people could tell you how fucking genius it is and how amazing it is that they did this to this umpteenth degree. And I'm like, I totally agree. It is amazing that they did it to that umpteenth degree. It put us all physically at risk of dying because of their excessive compulsive behavior so they could be large and in charge and have a virtual presence up your ass and around Uranus, right? It's nuts, right? The nuclear weapon is a direct result of human selfishness. Okay. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Right? And so the only way to stop that kind of evil, interactive, manipulative cartooning, okay, is forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. Right? That's it. We're good, just take 2013, which was 14, which was made in 13, update it and all that stuff, and you're good. You don't need NIL. You don't need all that other stuff. The capacity for the technology to manipulate further because it's art imitating life. That's not life. It's art. Art imitating life. No, it's art imitating art. And art sucks if you think art is life. Come on, man. Come on now, baby. Come on now, baby. Come on now, baby. Come on. So I know what kind of sick and disgusting people I'm dealing with. And the technology will get better. Okay. Will it be able to help us stop all this selfishness? I don't know. They're so rapid in having to fix everything to keep their status quo. I don't know. I can't tell you. All I can tell you is this: is the technology is set up to maintain a power and a status quo for the selfish. Okay, and until I can change it to reflect me, it's going to be used to kill people involved in the game, to maintain the game. So if you don't want to try to, you can use it to do what I'm doing. And if you feel you're going to get killed physically by these people, then don't do anything at all. And I'll do it for you. And then I get the book a lot better. I get the stories a lot better. And I see why everybody, he's God. Not God. No, I'm the Lord. And the Lord is immaculate faith. And he will not waver, just like Job in the Bible and stuff, So I'm like Job in the Bible. No, you're not. You cuss too much. How do you know Job isn't cussing his ass off in that story, but all the heathens and the hypocrites turned it into, old self-righteous bullshit? Dear Charlton, you know what self-righteous means? Thinking and believing you're right when you're obviously fucking wrong. Damn dirty apes. And your half-buried Statue of Liberty Bibberty. Okay. Dumbasses. Insurance. Money can't keep you safe from other people that will kill people over money. Okay. But it's still just an extension of molecular manipulation of, hi, I'm Goliath. I'm going to cut off all his nuts, going to kill all their children, and I'm going to rape everybody so everybody's like me. Wow, how evil, interactive, cartoon of you. All right, guys, I love you, man. All right, we'll talk later. All right, peace out.